wants to take it up the hangar, Joe?
We're going to dust it off first.
This is the world's greatest all-electric flying machine, I'll tell you that. It was super. 2,300.
Fido says it looks super.
Parts coming in. Pre-clear.
Speed brake's coming in now. Over the numbers in the runway.
Okay, we're armed and flaring. Feet, 290. Okay, the gear is coming down at 270. Gear coming. Doors open and they're all down, coming down. Look down here. 50 feet. 40 feet. 30. 20. 15. 10. Holding 10. 220 at about 5 feet. 4 feet. Getting some thrust. 4 feet. 3 feet. 2 feet. Just holding off about 2 feet. You're on, you're on. Okay, your nose wheel's about 10 feet. About 5. 4 feet. About 5 feet. 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll see you there.
2 feet. 2 feet. 1 foot. 6 inches. Touchdown. Nose is coming. 6 feet. 5 feet. 4 feet, 3 feet, 2 feet, 2 feet, 2 feet, 1 foot, down. 5 feet, 5 feet, 4, 3, 1 foot, 6 inches, you're on. Nose gear's about 10 feet. Gear's coming. Forward. 20 feet. 1, you're on. Get down. 40 feet. 20 feet. 10 feet. 5 feet. 4 feet. 2 feet. 1 foot. Down. Nose is coming down. 2 feet. 1 foot.
No, we really lost a bunch in a shear there. Okay. Now about up to 290. Okay, 2500.
Speed brake's in.
Okay. Arming the gear. We're pre-flaring. It's looking good. I think we're fast.
Yeah.
Ready
I'd
for
get the
gear?
gear.
Gear's coming.
Gear coming.
Okay, 280. Okay, the gear is down. 260.
Hot little boards.
240. 230.
Come on down, Bits.
210. 200. Real good speed.
Shit.
Okay, we're back.
Okay.
Watch it. Let the stick go. Hold it.
Jesus.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Put her down. Speed brake's out.
Gear coming. Gear. Gear down. 50 feet. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Touchdown. Those gears 10 feet.
Gear's coming.
5. 4.
Those gears coming.
3. Touchdown.
Those
Count the ball, skipper.
30, 20, 10, 5, 3, touchdown. Nose gear 15. 10,
Welcome home, Columbia. Beautiful, beautiful.
10, 5, 3, touchdown. Welcome home.
Thank you, Chase. Who wants to take it up the hangar, Joe?
50 feet, gear coming.
We're going to dust it off first.
Gear down. 20.
This is the world's greatest all-electric flying machine, I'll tell you that. It was super.
Nose gears 10. Nose gears 5, 4, 3, 3. Touchdown. Bienvenidos, amigos.
Gear coming. Gear down.
Touchdown and locked. 289 knots. Gear down. We show the gear locked now.
Outstanding.
6,500 feet. 281 knots. Columbia performing a maximum braking test on this landing.
Hey, Roy, are we down now? That was, are we on the ground?
287 knots.
Absolutely. It was beautiful, and you certainly lived up to your motto this flight. Welcome home. Yes, sir. We delivered. We delivered. Nice to be back.
Gears coming. And Challenger's back home, back to Earth.
Roger, we see that. Congratulations, a great looking landing. And from the entry team, got some good news. Good news is the beer is very, very cold this morning. Bad news is it's 3,000 miles away.
That's what I was afraid of.
5,000 feet. 300 knots. Approximately 285 knots. Still in manual flight control mode. Commander John Young controlling the vehicle. Going into the flare. Gear coming down.
8 minutes, 40 seconds.
Gear down and locked.
11 miles range, 10 miles from the end of the runway. Airspeed 256 knots. Altitude 17,000 feet.
And we have touchdown, unofficial touchdown time for the main gear, 10:07:47:23.
Gear down.
Nose gear coming down. And gear contact.
Give the commander an OK 3.
Nose down at 10:07:47.
Touchdown.
3,000 feet.
Space Shuttle's first floor to land.
And STS-9 is home from the longest shuttle mission to date.
That touchdown at 190 knots. Flight control reports steady braking. Altitude 3,500. Range 3 miles.
And Challenger Houston, Crypt, I'm sure you remember the good news, bad news that Brian O'Connor gave you a while back on Flight 7.
I bet I got, you still got some buddies out here.
But gears down, altitude 300 feet.
Airspeed 290 knots.
800 feet from the end of the runway.
5,700 feet, 3.6 nautical miles. Now down to 4,700 feet, 3.1 nautical miles.
And the main gear are down.
Altitude 1,100 feet, 800 feet. Range 1.3 nautical miles. Gear down.
Nose gear is securely down. A touchdown at mission lapse time of 6 days, 56 minutes, 4 seconds. Nose gear down at 6 days, 56 minutes, 16 seconds.
Wheels are down. And locked. We have that down. 2.5 million mile service call. The crew of 51A is home. Just had a report that our entry time was 4 seconds off. Range 2.5 nautical miles. Altitude 1,800 feet, now 1,500 feet. 1,200 feet per second. 1,000 feet.
Equivalent airspeed about 287 knots.
265 feet. 165 feet. 116 feet. 75. 45. Gear down and locked. Touchdown.
Gear down.
Nose gear descending now. Touchdown.
3 gears down and locked. Touchdown. Nose gear coming down. Touchdown on main gear.
Mission Control, Houston, at a mission elapsed time of 6 days, 23 hours, 56 minutes. The SWAT team is home.
86 feet. Gear down and locked.
And gear down. Altitude 400 feet. Gear locked.
Altitude 5,300 feet. Descending 157 feet per second.
Touchdown. Main gear down.
Velocity 546 feet per second.
Nose wheel coming down. Touchdown on nose gear.
About 285 knots.
No wheel stop at 7 days. 1 hour, 39 minutes, 30 seconds.
Challenger kicking up a lot of dust on runway 23 at Edwards as it rolls to a stop at the completion of Shuttle Mission 51F, the Space Lab 2 flight.
Velocity 500 feet, elevation 2,300 feet, range 8 miles. About 30 seconds to touchdown. Atlanta's converging over runway 23.
Touchdown on main gear. Discovery rolling out now at 195 knots and touchdown on nose gear.
Elevation 55 feet. Touchdown main gear.
Discovery now coming to a stop on runway 23.
Touchdown nose wheel. Atlantis on the center line on the glide slope. And the 4th orbiter in NASA's fleet, Atlantis, rolls out on landing, concluding Space Shuttle Mission 51J.
Surface winds are calm.
Roger, copy, Fred. Thank you. Touchdown now, about a minute away. Altitude 6,800 feet. Velocity 589 feet per second. 4 miles from touchdown.
Main gear touchdown.
Again, the approach very smooth and right on the program path.
Nose gear touchdown. And Atlantis comes home from her 2nd mission in space, bringing home a crew of 7 from the first construction mission in space.
We'll stop. Roger, we'll stop. Challenger, welcome home and congratulations on a beautiful flight. Henry, we're working on your post-landing deltas. We'll get right back to you.
300 feet altitude. 3,000 feet from the end of the runway.
She's now at about 6,500.
Sync rate now down to 20 feet per second. Now on video.
Speed 550 feet per second.
Capcom has reported to the crew that they are on the glide slope on the center line and the surface winds are calm. The vehicle is traveling at about 570 feet per second, just 5 miles from
Gear
touchdown.
down. The gear down and locked. The report, control. Main gear touchdown. Commander Houck now rotating the nose down, standing by for nose gear and touchdown. 1 minute to touchdown.
Main gear landing. Main landing gear being deployed. Gear is down and locked. Velocity 400 feet per second. Main gear touchdown. Nose gear touchdown.
Wheel stop.
Roger, wheel stop, Discovery. Welcome back. A great ending to the new beginning.
Max officer reports good braking.
Gear down and locked.
Imaginary line around the heading alignment circle.
Nose gear touchdown.
Velocity is 500 feet per second.
Discovery now rolling out onto final.
Altitude. Range 3 miles.
Discovery, wheel stop.
Landing gear down and locked. Main gear touchdown. Altitude now 6,000 feet. Flight Dynamics Officer reports that Discovery is converging on the center line above runway 4. And Atlantis rolls out at the conclusion of mission STS 34, correction. Unofficial main gear touchdown time was at 9:33 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Gear down and locked.
Gear down.
6,800 feet. Main gear touchdown.
Gear down and locked.
Nose gear touchdown. Discovery rolling out at the end of mission STS 33 at Edwards Air Force Base on runway 4.
Columbia rolls out after a successful flight. This view from an infrared camera again, and of course those images in lighter colors are brighter and hotter.
Landing gear is down and locked. Gear touchdown. Nose gear touchdown. Discovery rolls out on runway 22 at Edwards at the end of mission STS-31.
Control of Crew Commander Dick Richards now performing a pre-flare maneuver, taking some of the steep angle out of the final approach. Landing gear down.
Range 3 nautical miles, altitude 3,000 feet. Atlantis reaching for runway 33. Standing by for pre-flare maneuver.
Nose gear touchdown. Discovery rolling out on Edwards runway 22.
Final flare. And touchdown. We have main gear on deck. Covey derotating the nose. Nose gear touchdown. Crew of Atlantis brings their spacecraft to its point of origination at the Kennedy Space Shuttle landing facility. Atlantis rolling out on runway 33.
Burning your tires.
Main gear touchdown. Nose gear touchdown. Atlantis now rolling out on Edwards runway 33.
Columbia on center line on glide slope.
Landing gear now down and locked.
Roger.
Altitude now 5,000 feet.
Main gear touchdown. Nose gear touchdown. Discovery rolling out on runway 15 at the Kennedy Space Center shuttle landing facility, completing Discovery's 12th mission, 40th since the shuttle began flying 10 years ago. Discovery back at the Kennedy Space Center after
Gears
traveling
down.
3,475,000 miles.
Altitude now 2,000 feet. Main gear touchdown.
Houston Discovery, we'll stop.
Nose gear touchdown.
Roger, Discovery, welcome back to
Landing
sunny
gears
Florida,
down locked.
and congratulations on an outstanding mission.
Thank you, son. Thank everybody
Main gear
there that worked so
touchdown.
hard to pull this one off.
We sure will. And stand by, we'll have post-landing deltas shortly.
Gear down and locked.
1,200 feet. 4 miles touchdown. Airspeed 290. Atlantis aligning with the center of runway 05.
We'll stop on the Columbia, Houston. Roger that, Columbia. Welcome back. You look great, Brian, and congratulations on a
Altitude
super
3,000
flight.
feet.
Altitude is 3,400 feet. And the equivalent airspeed is about 300 miles per hour coming around the final, coming into the final
Landing gear
approach.
down. Main gear touchdown.
Landing gear is locked in place.
Atlantis will roll out without braking due to a test
Main gear
objective.
touchdown.
Altitude 2,000 feet, pre-flare maneuver underway. Take some of the steepness out of the angle of approach.
Altitude now about 2,000 feet.
Wheels coming down, final flare. Main gear touchdown. Holding derotating the nose.
Main gear touchdown.
Nose gear touchdown. Atlantis returns to the spaceport.
1 minute from touchdown. Range now 4 miles.
Rolling out on runway 33.
Nose gear touchdown. Drag chute deploy. As Endeavour completed its maiden flight, rolling out on runway number 22. Atlantis continues to perform very well, now less than a minute away from landing at the Kennedy Space Center. Drag chute jettisoned.
Gear is down and locked. Main gear touchdown of Columbia.
Feet descending at 183 feet per second, range 4 miles. Pre-flare still underway as Columbia begins to modulate the steepness of its approach to the runway.
Landing gears down and locked.
3,000 feet.
Nose gear touchdown.
Time to touchdown 45 seconds. Altitude 3,000
Main gear
feet.
touchdown.
Drag chute deploy aboard Columbia. Columbia rolling out on runway 33 at the Edwards Air Force Base.
Standing by for landing gear deployment.
Nose gear touchdown. Atlantis completes its 12th flight, returning to the Kennedy Space Center on runway number 33.
Main gear down.
Landing gear down and locked.
Final flare.
Main gear touchdown.
Converging to glide slope, surface winds 230 at 14, gust to 19.
Drag chute deploy.
Relocation underway. Drag chute
Nose gear touchdown.
momentarily. With drag chute deploy and nose gear touchdown. Columbia returns to its point of origin at the Kennedy Space Center.
100 feet, speed 360 miles per hour.
Now below 3,000 feet.
Range to touchdown 4 nautical miles.
Now below 1,000 feet. Gear down.
Range 3 miles, altitude 4,800 feet.
Altitude is 3,000 feet, speed 360 miles per hour, range 2 miles.
Main gear touchdown.
Altitude is 4,300 feet.
We're standing by for chute deploy. Nose gear touchdown.
And we're seeing final flare. Should see the landing gear coming down shortly.
Range 2 nautical miles. Main gear touchdown.
Main gear is down and locked. Main gear touchdown.
Drag chute deploy and nose gear touchdown of Endeavour. Endeavour rolling out on runway 33 at the Kennedy Space Center, completing 96 orbits of the Earth while traveling 2.5 million miles. Main gear touchdown. And nose gear touchdown. Columbia rolling out on runway 22 at Edwards Air Force Base in California. on the 160th orbit of the mission
We'll stop
after
Endeavour
traveling
and
4.1 million miles.
Congratulations on a super flight and a great start to the Shuttle 93 manifest.
feet.
We'll stop, Houston.
Landing gears down and locked.
Roger, Willkommen zu Hausen, Colombia. Congratulations on a very successful international mission. There's a lot of folks all around the world that are very excited about the knowledge gained during your mission.
Commander will shortly raise the nose of the orbiter to slow the descent.
Altitude now passing through 5,000 feet.
The pilot will lower the landing gear at about 400 feet.
Nose gear touchdown.
The landing gear is now down.
Endeavour now beginning to flatten its steep glide slope, coming in for final approach and landing.
Main gear touchdown.
Gear down and locked.
Houston Discovery, wheel stop.
Roger, wheel stop Discovery, and congratulations, Frank, making the first night landing of the Space Shuttle at KSC, and for the demonstrating in dramatic fashion on this flight the truly unique capabilities the Space Shuttle provides the United States space program.
Thank you very much, Chili. It's a real honor to bring it back to KSC where they work on it and make such a nice machine fly so well.
Drag chutes are out. Endeavour rolling out toward its final stop on runway 33. A nice drag chute streaming out behind.
On glide slope on center line now. Just prior to flaring out before touchdown.
Wheel stop, Houston. We're back.
About 30 seconds away from touchdown. Runway 33.
Sonic booms announcing Columbia's arrival in the landing area.
Speed brake coming to 20.
Okay.
2,000 feet, pre-flare next.
In the flare, arm the gear.
Gear is armed, I have a light. 1,000. 500. 400.
Gear.
Gear is coming.
Speed brake 25. Okay. On the ball bar.
100.
Gear down.
50 and 250. 40 and 235. 30. 25. 15. 10. 5. Touch.
Main gear
Speed
touchdown.
brake waiting for 179. 179, arm and deploy.
Shoot.
Coming.
Gear rotating.
I see 1, 1, 1.5, 1, 1.5. Wheel track.
And nose gear touchdown.
Okay, brake
Columbia
eyes are
completing
open.
its 17th voyage in space, completing 236 orbits of
Stand
the
by to
Earth,
jettison.
rolling out on runway 33 at the Kennedy Space Center, completing 6,143,000 miles.
80 and 5.
Altitude 600 feet.
70 and 6. 60 knots. Chute is gone. 50 and 5.
Landing gears down and locked.
Houston, Columbia, wheel stop.
Main gear touchdown.
Great job, Bob.
Roger, wheel stop.
Endeavour on energy at the 180.
Drag chute deploy.
Copy on energy at the 180.
And the landing gear is
Nose
now
gear
down
touchdown.
and locked.
Discovery rolling out on runway 04 at Edwards Air Force Base, California, after 177 trips around the world in 11 days and 4.5 million miles underneath the wings.
Main gear touchdown. And nose gear touchdown. Endeavour rolling out on runway 22 at the Edwards Air Force Base facility in California after 183 orbits of the Earth, traveling 4,703,000 miles.
Landing gear's down and locked.
Approaching the hack, no change to weather. The winds are 230 at 15, peak 22. That's 3, peak 4 from the right, 15 and peak 22 on the head. We would like a late drag chute deploy just in case we can get the crosswind DTO.
Roger that, we copy.
Endeavour is traveling right now at a descent rate 7 times steeper than that of a commercial jetliner as Oswald prepares to flare up the nose prior to landing. Atlantis coming down the pike, on target for a landing less than a minute from now. Descending at a very steep angle. Gibson will shortly pull up the nose. Pilot Bill Gregory has deployed the landing gear. Discovery speed brake comes open as the orbiter now aligned with runway 33. Its final descent 7 times steeper than that of a commercial jetliner on final approach. Less than a minute from touchdown. Gibson now flaring up the nose, landing gear deployed by pilot Charlie Precourt. Atlantis just a few hundred feet off the deck. Wings are level, the shuttle very stable. Nose gear touchdown. The drag chute has been deployed. A final pre-flare maneuver of Discovery's nose by Commander Tom Hendricks. Pilot Kevin Kriegel will drop the landing gear. The drag chute being deployed by pilot Charlie Precourt, and nose gear touchdown. Atlantis rolling out on runway 15 at the Kennedy Space Center to complete a 4.1 million-mile mission and the first docking with the Russian space station Mir. Main gear touchdown. Kriegel now deploys the drag chute to flare up the nose. Nose gear touchdown. Discovery rolling out on runway 33 at the Kennedy Space Center to complete a 3.7 million-mile mission, leaving behind in orbit NASA's newest tracking and data relay satellite. 3,800 feet off the surface, gliding into the early morning main gear touchdown. Cockerel now deploying the drag chute.
Kurt, we've got wheel stop.
Commander Ken Bowersox will flare up the orbiter's nose. Pilot Ken Rominger will drop the landing gear, and Columbia will be home to complete its long mission. Main gear touchdown. Rominger now begins to deploy the drag chute. Nose gear touchdown. Columbia rolling out on runway 33 at the Kennedy Space Center to complete a 6.6 million-mile microgravity research mission.
Altitude 700 feet. Pilot Brent Jett preparing to put the landing gear down. Atlantis is rolling out on runway 33 at the Kennedy Space Center, completing 129 orbits of the Earth and 3.4 million miles. Landing gear is down and locked. Straight landing of the orbiter at the Kennedy Space Center. And the 27th landing at the Kennedy Space Center in the shuttle program. Main gear touchdown.
Wheel stop, Houston.
Copy, wheel stop. Sox, welcome home. Proving once again the shuttle is a great research platform.
Nose gear touchdown. Endeavour rolling out on runway 15 at the Kennedy Space Center, completing Endeavour's 10th mission in space, the 74th mission in the shuttle program. completing 142 orbits of the Earth, traveling 3.7 million miles.
Wheel stop, Houston.
Roger, Atlantis, wheel stop.
Nose gear touchdown. Columbia now rolling out on runway 33 at the Kennedy Space Center to wrap up a 6.5 million mile microgravity research mission. Chilton beginning to flare up the nose. Landing gear down and locked. Main gear touchdown.
Pre-flare maneuver approaching the runway.
Pilot Rick Surfoss now deploying the drag chute.
Space Center Columbia is now flying at an angle that is 6 times steeper than a commercial airliner as it continues to approach the landing site. Time to touchdown now, 34 seconds.
And the landing
Columbia
gear is now down and locked.
65 feet per second.
Main gear touchdown. Endeavour is rolling out on runway 33 at the Kennedy Space Center, completing its 11th mission in space, 161 orbits of the Earth, traveling 4.1 million miles.
Wheel stop, Houston.
Welcome back, Atlantis.
Houston, Columbia, Mike is on board, and they're going to steal me out of this seat. I'll talk to you later.
Welcome back, Endeavour.
And Ken, we copy that. The ASA is going to take over again. Congratulations on a superb flight, and we'll see you back in Houston.
Mike Baker preparing to flare up Atlantis' nose. Brent Jett, the pilot, now deploying the landing gear.
Columbia's altitude.
Landing gear down and locked.
19,500 feet. Speed 425 miles per hour.
On at the 90.
Main gear touchdown. Jet now deploying the drag
Gear
chute.
is down and locked.
Baker rotating the nose gear down to the deck. Nose gear touchdown. Atlantis now rolling out on runway 33 at the Kennedy Space Center to wrap up its mission, bringing astronaut John Blaha home after 4 months in orbit on the Russian space station Mir.
Nose gear touchdown.
The mechanics officer reports landing gears down and locked. Main gear touchdown. The drag chute deploy. Nose gear touchdown.
3,000 feet. 2,000 feet, beginning the pre-flare maneuver, setting up for touchdown and rollout.
Wheel stop, Houston.
Copy, wheel stop, Discovery. Welcome back after a successful second Hubble servicing mission. Made those 5 spacewalks look real easy, and we have no post-landing deltas. Pick up on page 5-3.
Copy, GPC-5 to standby.
Discovery on energy at the 180.
Copy, you're on at 180.
Main gear touchdown. And nose gear touchdown. Atlantis rolling out on runway 33 at the Kennedy Space Center, completing 145 orbits of the Earth and a 3.6 million mile journey to deliver Mike Foale to the Mir space station, and also to return Jerry Leninger to Earth after 4.5 months in space. The landing gear is down and locked.
Houston, Atlantis, we have wheel stop.
Charlie, copy wheel stop, and we'd like to offer congratulations on a flawless flight and a special welcome home for Jerry.
And nose gear touchdown. Discovery's rolling out on runway 33 at the Kennedy Space Center, completing 189 orbits of the Earth while traveling 4.7 million miles. STS-85 is the 23rd mission of Discovery and the 86th in the shuttle program's history. This view of the heads-up display showing the speed at 300 knots and altitude 1,000
Endeavour's
feet.
Descending at an angle 6 times steeper than that of a commercial airliner on its final approach. Altitude now 3,400 feet.
The landing gear is now down and locked. Main gear touchdown.
Landing gear coming down.
And nose gear touchdown.
Landing gear down and locked.
Runway's in sight, Houston.
Copy, Columbia, and you are on at the
Landing gear
90.
touchdown.
Roger.
Drag chute now 2 minutes to touchdown. Columbia traveling 425 miles per hour. Nose wheel touchdown. Endeavour now rolling out on runway 15 at Kennedy Space Center at the end of a 9-day, 3.6 million mile journey, bringing home astronaut Dave Wolf from his 4-month stay in space. Landing gear down.
Down 2,000 feet, lower the landing gear at 300 feet.
Main gear touchdown.
.50 seconds away from touchdown.
Drag chute deploy.
Discovery now traveling at a speed of 368 miles per hour.
Columbia now rolling out on runway 33 at the end of a 16-day, 6.3 million mile journey. 7 astronauts on board, bringing home with them an extensive amount of data gathered on the
Pilot
human
Steve
nervous
Lindsay has
system.
now armed the landing gear and is waiting to just push that button to lower 300 feet.
Altitude 5,000 feet. .3,000 feet.
The landing gear is down and locked. Main gear touchdown.
2,500 feet to touchdown.
And nose gear touchdown. Discovery rolls out on runway 33, concluding a journey of 3.6 million miles
600
and a moment
feet.
in history.
4,000 feet. Touchdown for Endeavour. One flawless mission completed and a new era in space exploration just begun. 2,000 feet. Nose gear touchdown. Altitude now 1,000 feet. Commander Eileen Collins guiding Columbia onto the shuttle landing facility runway. Nose gear touchdown. Landing gears down and locked. Discovery finishing a perfect flight after preparing a new home in space. Touchdown, main gear touchdown for Columbia. Drag chute deploy. Columbia home, completing a mission that made history.
At a 19-degree glide slope, a commercial airliner would be at about a 2-degree glide slope.
Endeavour, wheel stop.
Endeavour, welcome home.
Okay, Houston Discovery, wheel stop.
Welcome home, Discovery, from the first docking mission to the International Space Station.
And the landing gear is now down and locked.
Houston, Columbia, wheel stop.
Roger, wheel stop, Columbia. Welcome home. Eileen, to you and the crew, just an outstanding job deploying Chandra and bringing Columbia home for a beautiful landing. There are no deltas.
And nose gear touchdown. Discovery rolling out on runway 33 at the Kennedy Space Center following a 3.25 million mile journey to restore the Hubble Space Telescope back to full service. This is the 20th landing in a row at the Kennedy Space Center and the 49th to return to Florida in the history of the Space Shuttle program.
View of the runway clearly lit. This is the northwest to southeast approach as Terry Wilcutt prepares to place Atlantis down on runway 15. He's in the pre-flare maneuver.
Roger.
And main gear touchdown.
Houston Discovery, we'll stop.
Roger, wheel stop, Discovery. Welcome back to Earth after a fantastic flight. We have no deltas. We'll meet you on page 5-3 for the post-landing.
Atlantis Houston, for the commander, you have a go for extended power-up.
Copy the go for extended power-up.
And an on-time landing at the Kennedy Space Center. Atlantis now on runway 15 at the Kennedy Space Center.
$4,000 feet.
Wheel stop, Houston.
3,000 feet.
Roger, wheel stop, Atlantis.
2,000 feet. This is a live view from on board of the runway.
On final approach now, 3,400 feet.
Landing gear down and locked.
And the gear deploy upcoming at an altitude of about 300 feet off the runway.
Touchdown. Main gear touchdown for Endeavour. Drag chute deployed. Nose gear touchdown. Endeavour rolling out, completing a 4.4 million mile mission that has spread the wings of the International Space Station.
Main gear touchdown.
Gear down and locked.
And nose gear touchdown. Atlantis rolling out on runway
Altitude
22 at the
8,000
Edwards
feet.
Air Force Base, completing a 5.3 million mile journey, delivering a science laboratory to the Expedition 1 crew on the International Space Station. STS-98 marks the 47th landing at the California site since the shuttle program began.
5,000 feet.
Discovery rolling out on runway 15 at the Kennedy Space Center, wrapping up a 5.3 million mile mission, bringing home the first residents of the International Space Station after 4.5 months in orbit.
$1,000 feet. Endeavour's landing gear deployed. This is a view through the
pre-flare and work.
Heads-up display. Main gear touchdown.
Houston, field in sight.
Endeavor, Houston, copies the field.
Nose gear touchdown. Endeavor
Landing
rolling
gear
out
down and
in
locked.
California. Home after completing 4.9 million miles on a mission that launched a new era in space robotics.
Main gear touchdown. Nose flaring. Drag chute now being deployed. Sturco has dropped the landing gear. Nose gear touchdown. Gear down and locked. Pilot Mark Kelly now deploying the landing gear. Main gear touchdown. Sturco deploying the drag chute. Horowitz rotating the nose down to the deck. Nose gear touchdown. Discovery rolling out on runway 15 at the Kennedy Space Center, wrapping up a 4.3 million mile mission to open a new phase in the history of the International Space Station and to bring home the second expedition crew. Nose gear touchdown. Endeavour rolling out on runway 15 at the Kennedy Space Center, wrapping up a 4.8 million mile mission, bringing home the Expedition 3 crew after 129 days in space. Altman now beginning to flare up Columbia's nose. Everything in great shape. Just moments away from touchdown. Cockerel will be flaring up Endeavour's nose. Pilot Paul Lockhart will drop the landing gear, and Endeavour will settle down on the runway 22, the concrete runway, via over the runway at the Dragonfly Research Center at Edwards Air Force Base, California. Main gear touchdown. Carey deploying the drag chute. About a minute from touchdown. Nose gear touchdown. Cockerel flaring up the nose. Final Columbia rolling out on runway 33 at the Kennedy Space Center, wrapping up a 3.9 million mile mission to improve the power and the vision of the Hubble Space Telescope. Gear deployed. Main gear touchdown. Lockhart now deploying the drag chute. Nose now flared up. Nose rotating to the deck. Nose gear touchdown. Endeavour rolling out on runway 22 at Edwards Air Force Base, California, wrapping up a 5.8 million mile mission, bringing home the Expedition 4 crew after 6.5 months on the International Space Station. Weatherby now beginning the pre-flare maneuver.
Speed 13,200 miles per hour. Range to touchdown 1,400 miles. The shuttle in the left bank with wings angled about 57 degrees to horizontal.
And Columbia, Houston, we see your tire pressure messages and we did not copy your last.
Roger,
Columbia, Houston, UHF comm check.
Capcom Charlie Hobart calling Columbia on UHF frequency as it approaches the Merritt Island tracking station range in Florida. 12.5 minutes to touchdown according to clocks and mission control.
Houston, UHF comm check.
Discovery's crew completing a 5.3 million mile mission to restore the International Space Station to an assembly-ready status and proving that they can use a 50-foot long boom as a heat shield repair platform. Altitude 225 feet. Gear down and locked. Setting up for deployment of the landing gear at 300 feet. Touchdown.
1 minute to touchdown.
Drag chute deploy.
Endeavour's descent rate is 20 times higher and 7 times steeper than a commercial airliner on this final approach to the Kennedy Space Center landing facility.
Main gear touchdown. Sunset on runway 15 at the Kennedy Space Center, completing 204 orbits, traveling 5.3 million miles. Discovery completing its 33rd mission and its 7th to the International Space Station.
The heading alignment cylinder. Main gear touchdown.
Discovery, runway in sight.
Copy, field in sight.
Discovery flying at 390 miles per hour at an altitude of 11,000 feet. 1.5 minutes to touchdown. Nose gear touchdown. Deploying of the drag chute delayed to assess the conditions of the crosswinds on the orbiter as it rolls out on the runway 15 at the Kennedy Space Center, wrapping up a nearly 5.3 million mile
Commander
mission.
Steve Frick will
Endeavour
execute
returning the first educator mission
Atlantis'
specialist
nose.
Barbara Morgan to Earth to begin the next step in her journey to inspire future generations to explore, learn, and build a better future.
Pre-flare maneuver coming up shortly, approaching 3,000 feet. Two miles from the runway.
Main gear touchdown.
1 minute until touchdown. Discovery perfectly aligned. Landing gear down and locked.
Commander Pan Miller is rotating the nose gear down to the runway and nose gear touchdown.
Gear is down and locked.
Discovery is rolling out on runway 33 at the Kennedy Space Center, wrapping up a 6.25 million mile mission.
Main gear touchdown.
Nose gear touchdown. Atlantis rolling out on runway 15 at the Kennedy Space Center, wrapping up a 5.3 million mile mission to expand the global village of space. Dan Tawney, home after 120 days in orbit. Landing gear down and locked. Main gear touchdown. Ham now deploying the drag chute. Nose gear touchdown. Discovery rolling out on runway 15 at the Kennedy Space Center, wrapping up a 5.7 million mile mission to further expand a global city in space. Garrett Reisman home after 95 days away from the planet.
(4,000 feet). Commander Lee Archambault beginning to flare the nose of Discovery up for final approach and landing. 2,000 feet. Commander Scott Altman beginning to flare out the vehicle, pitch the nose up as he approaches runway 22 from the northeast. Gear is down.
1,500
1
feet.
minute to touchdown.
Gear down.
Landing gear will be locked down in place at 31 feet in altitude.
Main gear touchdown. And nose gear touchdown. Main gear touchdown.
.30 seconds to touchdown.
Nose gear touchdown. Space Shuttle Atlantis is rolling out on runway 22 at Edwards Air Force Base, completing 197 orbits of the Earth while traveling 5,276,000 miles. This landing marks the 53rd shuttle mission to end at Edwards Air Force Base. Atlantis spent 7 days servicing the Hubble Space Telescope that included 5 spacewalks, totaling a record 37 hours. Atlantis has completed its 30th mission and the 126th in the history of the Space Shuttle program. The Hubble Space Telescope's final servicing mission is complete, but its mission of discovery is just beginning.
This is the 71st landing at the Kennedy Space Center. Endeavour has completed its 23rd mission and the 127th Space Shuttle mission. It was the 29th to the International Space Station. Endeavour at 5,000 feet. Endeavour's descent rate is 20 times higher and 7 times steeper than a commercial airliner on this
1 minute now to touchdown. Discovery's landing gear will be locked down into place at 300 feet in altitude. Off flaring up the shuttle's nose for landing. As you can see, the main gear is currently 3,500 feet and traveling at a rate of 370 miles per hour.
Main gear touchdown. The landing gear is down and locked.
30 seconds until touchdown.
Main gear touchdown.
Nose gear touchdown. Atlantis now rolling out on runway 33 at Kennedy Space Center. Wrapping up a 4,490,138 mile flight to the International Space Station.
Endeavour rolling out on runway 15 at Kennedy Space Center, wrapping up a 5.7 million mile mission.
During this point in the flight, the shuttle's descent rate is 20 times steeper than a commercial airliner. Its angle of attack more than 7 times steeper.
We'll stop.
Main gear touchdown. Pilot Jim Dutton now deploying the drag chute. Nose gear touchdown. That brings an end to the STS-131 mission, the 131st Space Shuttle flight, and the 33rd to the International Space Station.
Atlantis now beginning what is known as the pre-flare maneuver. It will pull the nose up a little bit right before it hits the runway. Discovery speed 370 miles an hour. This is Space Shuttle Discovery's final minutes of flight. The gear is down and locked. Space Shuttle Discovery now on final approach to the Kennedy Space Center. Just more than 30 seconds to go.
Approximately 3 miles to the landing site. And there is the runway.
Once again, the view from the pilot point of view camera, 1 minute till touchdown.
Discovery's gear is down and locked, and nose gear touchdown. Space Shuttle Atlantis now comes home to the Kennedy Space Center for the final time. 25 years, 32 flights, and more than 120 million miles traveled. Main gear touchdown. The legacy of Atlantis now in the nose of the shuttle being rotated down toward the flight deck. The parachute being deployed. And nose gear touchdown and the end of a historic journey. And to the ship that has led the way time and time again, executed. We say farewell, Discovery.
Forward gear touchdown. And so after a journey of 6.5 million miles, Endeavour landing in darkness, but illuminated by the ingenuity, dedication of every astronaut, scientist, engineer, flight controller, mechanic, and dreamer that helped it fly.
Main gear touchdown. Hurley now deploying the drag chute. Ferguson rotating the nose gear down to the deck. Nose gear touchdown. Having fired the imagination of a generation, a ship like no other, its place in history secured, the Space Shuttle pulls into port for the last time. Its voyage at an end.
Mission complete, Houston. After serving the world for over 30 years, the Space Shuttle's earned its place in history and it's come to a final stop.
We copy your will stop, and we'll take this opportunity to congratulate you, Atlantis, as well as the thousands of passionate individuals across this great spacefaring nation who truly empowered this incredible spacecraft, which for 3 decades has inspired millions around the globe. Job well done, America.
Hey, thanks, Butch. Great words. Great words. You know, the Space Shuttle's changed the way we view the world, and it's changed the way we view our universe. There's a lot of emotion today, but one thing's indisputable. America's not going to stop exploring. Thank you, Columbia, Challenger, Discovery, Endeavour, and our ship Atlantis. Thank you for protecting us and bringing this program to such a fitting end. God bless all of you. God bless the United States of America.
Inspiring comments, Atlantis. We'll meet you on 5-3.
We'll see you there, Butch.